Prosperity surrounds me, prosperity fills me, and prosperity flows to me and through me. I am a magnet for money. Prosperity of every kind is drawn to me. I move from poverty thinking to prosperity thinking, and my finances reflect this change. I now draw from the abundance of the spheres my immediate and endless supply. All doors are open. I now reach the gold. I am linked with an endless golden stream of prosperity, which comes to me under grace in perfect ways. Prosperity of all kinds is drawn to me now. Compliments are gifts of prosperity. I accept them graciously. Every day, I grow more financially prosperous. I have prosperity, and I attract it naturally. The whole universe and entire mankind is conspiring to make me prosperous and abundant. I deserve all good in my life, and that includes prosperity. My income is constantly increasing, and I prosper wherever I turn. I believe that I have the right to be prosperous and successful. I am abundant, healthy, and happy, and live in prosperous ways. I deserve to prosper in everything I do. It is so easy to open to prosperity. I can be prosperous. I was prosperous, am prosperous, and will always be prosperous. Every day, in every way, I am becoming more and more prosperous. All resistance to prosperity dissolves away. Prosperity flows to me at all times, in all ways. I allow prosperity. My prosperity prospers others. I trust the universal spirit of prosperity to provide richly for me now. I accept prosperity and abundance into my life. My beliefs create my reality. I believe in my unlimited prosperity. My prosperity thoughts create my prosperous world. I speak of success and prosperity. My words uplift and inspire others. I give thanks that the prosperity that is mine by divine right now pours in and piles up under grace in perfect ways. My prosperity is unlimited. My success is unlimited now. Everything and everybody prospers me now, and I prosper everything and everybody now. I love the highest and best in all people, and now draw the highest, best, and most prosperous-minded people to me. The prospering truth now sets me free. I am destined to find prosperity in everything I do. I know there is ample prosperity for all. Prosperity now happens to me. I let go of all resistance to prosperity, and it comes to me naturally. I am worthy of receiving prosperity now. Prosperity and abundance surround me. I attract prosperity with each thought I have. I have everything I need right now to accomplish everything I want. The riches of the universe come to me effortlessly. I am a lucky, happy, healthy, and successful person. The possibilities of the universe are flowing to me. I live a charmed life. I am safe, and all my needs are met. I already have everything I need. I have everything I need to get everything I want.
Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to another evening session. Glad to have you here. My name is Michael. Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this evening session of Mindshift. My name is Michael. Mr. Jonathan, welcome. Mr. Joseph, welcome. Mr. Priye, welcome, everybody. Hope your day went well.
Accept my abundance unconditionally. I am unlimited. I am abundant. I am worthy and deserving of all good.
Mrs.
Creative energy flows through
Okay.
all
Oh,
areas of my
Augustine,
life
welcome.
abundantly. Cash moves in abundant amounts in my life. I am in a state of fulfillment, have abundant love and joy in my life, and am free to do whatever I wish to do.
Okay,
I
Pascaline,
love my
welcome.
identity. I attract whatever I need through it. I
God
always
sent,
have more than enough of
welcome.
everything I need. My income
Welcome,
is
everybody.
constantly increasing.
I hope you're ready.
My good comes from everywhere and everyone. New opportunities to increase my income open up for me now. I allow the universe to bless me in surprising and joyful ways. My grateful heart is a magnet.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
I
If you
desire.
can hear me, please respond saying you
My
can
day
hear
is
me.
filled with limitless potential and joy, abundance and love. I am overflowing with abundant prosperity. Abundance is my birthright, and I have it. Abundance is within me. Abundance is around me. I am worthy of being wealthy. I am
Can anyone hear me?
Prosperity
I can
is
hear
drawn.
you. The host
Oh,
is not allowing participants to unmute themselves. That's what I've been saying.
I move
what?
Um,
poverty.
yes, but now I was given an opportunity to unmute myself. I've been trying to talk. How are you doing? Good evening.
I'm good. Welcome. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Hope you're doing good and hope today went well at your own side. Please let's drop messages in our group. Let us also talk to our team members that
Money comes to
training has started. It has commenced already. All
I
right.
use money
So
to my life and the lives of
please
others.
get them in and let's kickstart for today. Lillian Ogali, I can see you. Pray. I can see you. You're welcome. Joseph Oleka, I can see you. Amutigwe Oloma Chukwu, you're welcome. Okuchukwu Oloma, okay, Okuchukwu Okorochukwu, you're welcome. Please, let's write in the group that we have started. Let everybody know what is happening. And if you have someone you already invited for this training, please kindly remind the person, because I know somehow people may be busy, but when you remind them, they can be able to join the training.
Ma?
Jonathan Tobo,
You
you're
can.
welcome.
Wait.
You're welcome. Please, if I did not pronounce your name very well, forgive me. Please, you're welcome. Kindly write in the group. Call your team members and let them know we have started. Okay, I believe some other people are watching live on YouTube while we're here on Zoom. Okay. Last week we had a great time with our MD, Mr. Benedict Obiajulu, and he talked about the 5 C's of wealth creation. And it was a very wonderful
Hold
time.
up.
I believe today again is going to be an awesome time. Okay, I can see your comments. Okay, that's nice. Okay, sir. The floor is yours, sir. I can see you're here already. You're welcome, sir. Hello, sir.
Michael, I don't understand. Why is my video not on? Hello, everyone. Good evening. How are we doing today?
We're doing very good.
Michael, we've done these meetings times and times that these issues should be dealt with. We're already 10 minutes late, and you know how good I like to keep to time. I'm still finding it difficult to set up my video. Michael, are you?
It's
What
not
kind of
from my
technical?
end.
So how come I'm having this technical challenge by this time? No, I don't like this.
I've allowed everybody now. Wait.
Sir, please, can you check from your end? Probably your video.
Let me see.
Okay.
I'm not sure that's same across board. Okay, I think it's better now.
On now.
Okay, good. So please, I don't want this to repeat again. Yeah, good evening, everyone. Can this video be spotlighted, please? Oh, good evening, everyone. I'm sorry for time wasted. I think we didn't have everything in order. Then we're already 12 minutes gone. So last week we looked at a very important concept, and I will add something to that concept. Why we move. Okay, last week we looked at something, and what we looked at was, I believe, is the 5 C's of money. And we talked about credibility. So if you are there last week, I want to make sure we're following, letting not be that we just come to repeat. We turn out things and we don't hear it. So if you could type from the chat box, I know a lot of people are watching from YouTube, but if you could type from the chat box any of the C's you accurately remember, whether if it's whatever it is, but don't mention cash. So let's see if we are really paying attention. We talked about the 5 C's, the things that create money. We talked about the things that create money. So can somebody really come up and anyone you can tell us about, you tell us about that. So we're sure that there's an interflow of what we are teaching. And if there has been a way within the last week, you've thought of how to develop yourself, and not just that you've thought of it, but you have implemented it. So can everybody unmute themselves? I hope they're not having technical challenges like I was having. Okay, someone says competence. Another person says, okay, Charity says competence and character as one of the two C's that create abundance, that create cash. Yeah, the 5 C. Joseph says credibility, and another person says credible relationship. That's Somto. Somto says credible relationship, and then we have cash. Now, sometimes credibility, beautiful credibility can also be in form of integrity. Some people also believe that credibility is different and integrity is different. So, and what is integrity? Integrity is having one identity. You say you will do something and you will do it. So that's a form of cash. So I want to know, did we work with something? It's not that it's a form of cash, it's something that creates cash. It's something that creates money. Did we try within the week to find out how we're going to improve on our competence? How we're going to improve on our character? Because we learned last week that I'm doing a recap so we don't forget what we have learned, and let's put it into work. We've learned that we don't pursue money, you pursue the things that create money. And one of them is what we have listed. So I want you to add to that list integrity. Integrity is having one identity. Now, this is what you're known for. You're known to have one identity. You say, I'm going to do something like this, and you go ahead to do it like that. That is integrity. And I hope that makes sense for us. So today, I want us to look at, I want to start the section by asking us a question. And what is it? Now, so I want it to be very interactive. So we'll pick the point, because most times we miss it. We want everybody, most everyone on this call want to do good. But now it depends on what is the ratio of the good you want to do in the world, right? What's the ratio of the good to do in the world? Now, so have you thought of, if you're giving, how does the question go? I think I wrote the question down. Yeah, I wrote it down. Okay, do you want to be a millionaire a multi-millionaire, or do you want to help a million people? So which one will you really choose? You know, most times you really want to help a lot of people. You want to help your family, you want to help your uncles, you want to help your siblings. But will you rather be a multi-millionaire in dollars, or will you rather prefer to help a million people? So let's say a genie comes in your front, like most of us watched Aladdin, right? Is it Aladdin, right? Aladdin and the Lamp. Aladdin and the Lamp. Yeah, Aladdin and the Lamp. And there was a magic lamp that he would always talk to, the genie in the lamp that we would talk to. The genie would give him whatever he wants. So if you had a genie and God just comes down to you and asks you, do you want to be a multi-millionaire or do you want to help a million people? So which will you choose from? So I want who is going to answer? Cynthia, you're muted, so maybe you're on mute, so you can answer for us. Will you rather help a million people or will you be a millionaire? Joseph, you're also unmuted, so you can also answer for us. What I said is, will you take to help a million people or will you go for becoming a multi-millionaire in dollars? Which will you go for?
Good evening, sir.
Okay. Charity says she wants to be able to help a million people. Excellent. Yes. That is beautiful. Joe.
Me too.
What will you go for? You want to help a million people. Excellent. That's beautiful.
I want to be a billionaire in dollar. It cannot help the poor if you are one of them. So it's only when I have that millionaire in dollar I can be able to help.
We did not ask you to. So what are you saying? You don't want to help a million people. You want to be a multi-millionaire. Choose one. We're not asking you.
Yes. When I become the multi-millionaire, I will not help.
No. Have you watched Aladdin and the Lamp?
No, sir.
That's why. When you watch Aladdin, there's something we call a genie there in that movie. So when it comes, you choose one thing. You can't choose two. And when you choose one thing, he will do it for you. So you have only opportunity to either become a multi-millionaire or help a million people. So if you are going to become a multi-millionaire, he gives you the money. If you want to help a million people, he will take you around and you help a million people.
Okay, let me help the million people then.
You help
I'll
a million
go for that.
Yes, that's beautiful. Okay, so who else? Can we have a third person that can give us and you can, okay, we have I want to help a million people. That Jonathan, GBK says, JP, I want to help a million people. Okay, that's beautiful. We all answered we want to help a million people. Now, if you're to, now that's very beautiful. So there's this book I read. So this author, he met this man. He's a multi-millionaire now. So he was like, oh, should he start a business? Should he start a business? Or these are not life. The young man he should be 31. So he's still a very young man. So he met this monk that he hallows very well. He has always been seeing him traveling the world. And one day he showed up in his city. He paid to come and hear him speak. And when he asked the monk one question, that he wants to come down to Africa. You know, most of them that are not in Africa think that we in Africa, we don't match up to them. So he was like, oh, that he wants to leave his country. He's a white guy. He's a pink guy. I call them pink people. So he's a pink guy. So he wants to come. He wants to come to Africa and help a lot of people. And that should he stay or should he has two choices, either to come down to Africa and help a lot of persons, or that he will stay in his country and build a business. And you know what the monk answered? The monk answered, you don't pour from an empty bucket. You don't pour from an empty bucket. You don't pour from an empty bucket. Don't pour from an empty bucket. That is one of the reasons why we all should pay attention to this class. It's going to be more lively and very short, but I just want to share the concept of the 5 buckets. So what I'm saying is you cannot pour from an empty bucket. Nobody can pour from an empty bucket. In Africa, we have the crab mentality. Somebody is rising and he's under pressure to rise. He has a lot of work to do, but there is black tax. There is they're not giving him the necessary support, and his pocket is not full, and people are emptying it, so that both emotionally they're trying to bring his bucket to zero, financially they're trying to bring his bucket to zero, and all of that. Okay, and so invariably the bucket doesn't get full, so he can't pour. Now, pouring, I mean in terms of helping. We all want to help everybody. Humans are basically good. I will tell you the truth. Humans are basically good. You know, there is this story. We've all heard of Virgin Atlantic. Most of us here have played the game Sega. I'm sure JP must have played Sega. Who else? I'm sure Joe. I'm sure you must have played Sega. Chris, yes, I'm sure you played Sega. Yeah. So we all played that game called Sega. That Sega is owned by the man that owns Virgin Atlantic. He owns over 500 companies at the time, Sir Richard Branson. Anytime you walk into my office, you always see his picture there. Sir Richard Branson said something. He said, the first flight for Virgin Atlantic, and they wanted to fly, their first flight. We remember when our dear brother, the CEO of what's the name? The chairman of Airpeace, rather. The chairman of Airpeace, when they launched their London route, most of us remember that. When they launched Lagos to London, and you saw how he led them, that first flight that everybody was in, and they were both Cubana, people had to fly to, they call it, is it flagship? The first that even he had to fly on that flight to London because it was their premier flight. Now, what happened? On Virgin Atlantic, their first premier flight, their first flight, right? The first airline that their airline is getting up, the first one, the first flight of the plane, that's their first plane, their first flight. It caught fire along on the runway. Not a big fire, but it caught fire. The one of the fan, the blower behind, I believe the blower behind the wings of the plane, and there was a cameraman videoing it. So that should have come to the press. I know what happens if such news gets to the press. The Virgin Atlantic, the Virgin Air, would have gone on that. And the man just saw Richard Branson was just watching that test flight. People were not yet on it. They were just testing it for people to come and enter and take their first premier flight. And Richard Branson. Okay, thank you. Okay, I got your message. Okay. Okay. Then what happens is the cameraman, the pressman that covered that scene, removed the cassette. That is not today. We know those cassettes that they used to record, removed it and handed it over to Richard Branson. Now that could have made a big news. So it could have propelled the man's career. Why? We remember what really makes news are the ills. If they said Tinubu, the president is he's well, he's okay, nobody will carry it in the news, right? But if they say, oh, he's slum and fair, example, when he was doing campaign, most of us watched the video when he misstepped and wanted to fall. Comedians cashed in on it. That's the same way they could have cashed in on that fire. Does that make sense? It's the only place he wrote about it was him, Richard Branson, writing it in one of his books where he told his story. And it says that humans are basically good. So I know that most of us will take to help 1 million people. That is why somebody is already asking in the chat box, so are you saying that you will take $1 million than to help 1 million people? Now, the concept of having a bucket full, it's very important. I'm not saying you should help 1 million people, but I'm here to teach you a concept that you cannot help 1 million people if you need help. Does this make sense? Hello? Do we get this? Please, I want us to, if you
It
got
made a
that,
lot of
please.
sense. It made a lot of
Yes,
sense.
yes. So you cannot help 1 million people if you need help, and because you cannot pour from an empty bucket, and most times we miss it. Now, so I want to itemize the buckets that we're going to look out for. The buckets that we have to look out for. Does that make sense? The buckets that we're going to look out for. You see, now there are 5 buckets in terms of cell. In terms of cell, 5 critical buckets. Number 1, you first talk about knowledge. Knowledge. It's not because I want to overflog this matter, but knowledge is, you always hear me talk about, you have to learn and understand things. What we really trade is knowledge. The guy that prints this is a printer, right? He has knowledge of printing so well that at every point in time, he goes and prints and creates money. Now, and him printing is not knowledge, that is applied knowledge, that is skill. I was here shouting, Michael, get that thing done. I'm finding it difficult. That's a skill. He first has knowledge, him applying it and making sure that I can talk and it's audible despite it's not here. That's skill. So now knowledge is first, not skill. So you first fool your knowledge. And it's not, so you first understand when people go for boy, it's knowledge. So now there are 5 buckets. I want to list them. First, your knowledge. Second, your skills. Third, your network. Fourth, your resources. And fifth, your reputation. First, your knowledge. Second, skills. Third, network. 4, resources. 5, reputation. Now, how does this work? Now, remember we said there are buckets and you cannot pour out. You cannot help them. Now, knowledge comes from what you know. Skill comes from what? What you can do with what you know. So you must follow that sequence. Network, who you know. Right? Resources, what you have. And fifthly, what they think of you. There was a class we had that I told us that the best place to store your money, to store your funds, to store your capital is your reputation. It's in your reputation. Now, let me ask you how. You say, reputation and money, is it connected? I think for those that were not in that class, we said, if your father asks if you have 100 million naira, and your father, assuming he's a regular businessman, he's a regular civil servant, he's just a regular junkie, just a regular average man, right? I don't mean like your normal junkie. I just mean an average person. You get it? And someone as within our template, someone like Tony Elumelu, and you have 100 million, and now you want to make an investment, you want to invest, and Tony Elumelu asks you, give me this money, I'm going to return it, and I'm going to give you blah, 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 blah. And you know he's the one fronting the business, and your father is fronting another business, and he's just a normal civil servant. Who will you trust? Who will you trust to return your money on on return basis? Looking at ROI. I bet we know the answer. You trust the man that you have seen that have done it, and that is reputation. So you have to be conscious about filling your reputation bucket. I want to go over that again. What you know, what you can do with what you know. So not skill is applied knowledge. Then who you know, your network. Funny enough, your skill and your knowledge will influence who is in your network. Does somebody understand this? Remember, we said knowledge will influence your skill because skill is applied knowledge. The network will influence what? Your network is influenced by your skill and your knowledge. Okay, example. Use yourself as example. I'm using myself as example. I know a lot of developers. I know a lot of sales gurus. I know a lot of I know a lot of police, top policemen and IGs and yes, I know a lot of military men. And then I was recently in Abuja yesterday, and in a vehicle we were in, one of the biggest developers in Abuja was there. Another one was one of a very powerful developer in Lagos, and we were just taking a walk, and we're going to see a property that is big, and that's a powerful network. Why? Because what brought me there, my knowledge, applied skill, right? And that's what brought the network, and that's what brought everybody to that network. Does this make sense? So those are the buckets you fill. Your knowledge will influence your skill because your skill is applied knowledge. Your network, the rooms that, if you are being called to do a presentation or to come and speak to a group of persons, in all honesty, they will not call you to come and start speaking to, okay, your teacher in primary school knows a lot of, let me say someone that is a lecturer, right? That is lecturing, let's say he's lecturing chemistry. He tends to know a lot of what? Students that end up becoming chemists. Because his skill put him, he knows a lot of lecturers, right? He knows, so that's it. So when you check it, you see how your knowledge will lead. So if you know nothing, if you're not increasing your knowledge, 10 years time, it's still the same people you will know. Your network, you are not filling your bucket. And then your network will also influence what you have, which is your resources. Your resources. It will influence it. Because we know your network will buy from you. Your network will do business with you. We have what? It's okay if there's a way you can be okay. It's okay. So remember what we're talking about. We're talking about your buckets and knowing, putting them in the right order. Most times we jump this. You want to find yourself, okay, for instance, you don't have good knowledge. Your knowledge is not pure. You're not working on improving it. You don't have skill. And then suddenly you find yourself in a golf club. You're going to be a nuisance to the people there because you're going to be running around everybody, trying to get their contact. But there is no skill that they're seeing that they want to make use of. You can be hello, hi, friend. They are not seeing a skill that will lead them to building a network outside when you guys sit down in the golf club or if it's a military maze, you drink. If it's with a military maze, or you play your golf if it's in a golf club and go. There is no skill. They're not seeing it. So because there are no times they will need your services, right? And there are no times you would only need their services, so you will call them, but they may not call you. So it's not really a network. And then what they think of you, that is reputation. That is why some people invest far, far heavy on going for BBC. The first time I learned that people should store their wealth on their reputation, it was mind-blowing, but I understand it now. So if Elon Musk today wants to buy, what's the name of this? Wants to buy TikTok. He may not have the liquid cash, but he will get the money because he has a reputation of turning things around. The money that he used to buy Twitter is not his money. It's not his father's money. He went to the Arabs and collected the money. Well, anytime you buy stocks, what are you buying? You're buying reputation. You are buying the reputation of the company because they're not giving you anything. And anytime you vote for somebody, you are buying the person's reputation. I was recently in my friend's place in Abuja, and he was very happy to accommodate me in his house. His reputation, despite he's someone that we barely talk. We talk maybe once a year or twice a year. And we have been apart for more than 15 years, if not going on 15, close to 20. Now, so that's reputation, and that's where you can store your resources. If I was not sleeping there, I would have been in a high-end hotel, and I would have been paying. So remember the flow. The buckets that you have to pour from, you don't pour from an empty bucket, and you must follow the sequence. What you know, what you can do, who you know, what you have, and what they think of you. You can be a demon, but if people think that you're an angel, you have a good reputation. That is why media houses would always cash out. All right? Okay, consequently, when you have knowledge and skills and a network, your access to resources will expand. Once you have knowledge, skills, and a valuable network and resources, you undoubtedly earn a reputation. Let me take that again. When you have knowledge, skills, and a valuable network and resources, you will undoubtedly earn a reputation. Remember, your knowledge is what you study, is about mentoring, is about being a mentee, is about acquiring how things work, understanding how things work. That's knowledge. You're picking knowledge now. You don't have a skill about this. Now you go out and apply it, right? It becomes a skill. Skill is applied knowledge. You watch where they're sewing clothes. You learn how to sew clothes. You have the knowledge. You start sewing and start getting good. It becomes what? It becomes a skill, right? And then you have a valuable network. A valuable network just use, most of us are allies. Most of our allies are on this call, and you have a valuable network of clients that need land. You have a valuable network of young people that are growing up based on your industry, right? Have this valuable network because people can trust you that when I need something that pertains to genuine property, this is the man I'm going to call. That is why when you sell to a client and you're not in communication with that client, you're throwing you are not filling your bucket. You have just cut it at scale. And you have left the main resources, because it's that network that is supposed to produce tangible resources. It becomes a pipeline, a repetition. That is why there is network before the resources. We know that scale can provide immediate money, but we know it's network that provides repeated income, passive income. It's repeat sales. Because I just wanted to explain it in a way that we understand it. Is this a little bit clear, please? Hello, please, I want feedback. Okay, somebody says, sir, please correct me if I'm wrong. 5 bucket of bucket. Bucket is not 5 buckets of money. No, we started talking that where you feel from. That if you want to give to the world, if you want to be able to be someone that will help, you have bucket of water, bucket that you have to get your bucket filled up, your own bucket where you can pour from, that you cannot pour from an empty bucket. You cannot give, correct, bucket. You cannot give when you don't have. So now, if you understand this, you understand that a job that pays you slightly more cash but gives you far knowledge and fewer skill is a lower paying job. Hello. If you understand what I'm saying now, you understand that the job that pays you what? Slightly more cash, they pay you more. But it gives you far less knowledge. You work like a robot. Your mind, not like you work like a machine or something. Your mind, you are not processing what is being done. You don't have, you're not, you cannot have your mind input in what is being done. You cannot, it's just a stereotype. You just move this from here. So you can't develop your knowledge. And the job is paying you well, but gives you far knowledge and fewer skills. You are not getting better. You're not acquiring more skills. It's a lower paying job because you are just filling which bucket. It's your skills, it's just giving you resources, but your skill is not filling it. You're not getting better. You're not getting better at closing. You're not getting better at talking to people. You're not getting better at selling. You're not getting better at branding yourself well, which is reputation, which improves your reputation because branding is reputation, right? Now, it's just something like a clean example is a factory work. A factory work where not all factory work, a factory work where you just do it this, keep this here, keep this here, keep this here, and they're paying you very well. That's beautiful. But in the long run, you are shooting yourself. Okay, in the long run, because your other buckets are suffering. Your other buckets are suffering. Now, and for instance, our ego has an incredible ability to persuade us to skip the first 2 buckets. Knowledge and skill is not important. You will see somebody go and learn a business. It tells you, no, what I need is money. I can do this. What is this that they're doing? Or quality, if it's in our Igbo dialect, or quality. Is it not this? So he skips the knowledge. No knowledge, no skills. Then he runs to network. He gets, he finds, oh, there's cash around. So he starts finding a way to network with people, trying to know more people, trying to get more contacts in his contact base, and he skips it. So our ego has that incredible ability to persuade us to keep the first 2 buckets, to skip it, convincing us to take jobs for more money, which is bucket 4, or a job title, or status, or reputation, which is bucket 5, without the knowledge, which is bucket 1, first step, or skills, bucket 2, to succeed in that role. That is why when we say you cannot fear the wind when the root is deep. You don't fear the wind when the root is what? Is deep. Did you hear what I said? We've talked about that in this class. There is no need to fear the wind when the roots are deep. Right? Okay. There are only 2 buckets that you have. That any professional earthwork, that there are only 2 buckets that any such professional earthquake can never empty. What I mean is that no professional earthquake can empty it. There's a setback and you lose money. Okay, it has happened. We see it over and over again. There was a time Sir Femi Otedola lost all his money, right? Right. He used his real estate portfolio to pay off over $200 million, right? Correct. We know he paid it back. But now another thing we forget to talk about is that he has the skill to grow his money back. He had the skill. He had the knowledge to grow it back. The current Donald Trump, he has lost his money more than, I think, up to twice, right? But he had the knowledge, he had the skill to grow it back. So no matter the earthquake that hit, forget you forget the bucket 3, 4, 5 are clean, are good. You are working on them, but don't jump 1 and 2. Those are the things that make you the God you are. Those are the things that will bring the network. It will bring the resources. It will bring the reputation. Even if you are in a hole, people will seek you out because they know, go to the man that knows it. We remember Daniel in the Bible, right? Because of what he was able to, he had understanding of that business which he did. So I was talking with somebody about somebody in a high-ranking, the man is late, so I may talk about him. He's a high-ranking police officer, very high-ranking. And you know what happened? This man was so knowledgeable about the Nigerian police budget that IGs upon IGs had to put him in that department, and he had to spearhead it for years. Not even for years, for decades. And remember the story of Daniel. That was the same thing. King go, king come. He is there. So if you understand that you don't skip that part, you will get it. So it can never remove your knowledge, and it can never unlearn your skill. Those who hoard gold have riches for a moment. Those who hoard what? Gold. You hide gold. You save your money, right? You save your resources. You have riches for a moment. For the moment is lasting. But those who bask in knowledge, who hold knowledge in them, they are sharing, but they have the knowledge. They have riches for a lifetime. True prosperity is what you know and what you can do. True prosperity is what you know and it's what you can do.
Mama.
So remember to fill your buckets in the right order, okay? Remember to fill your buckets in the right order. And you have to create an obligation to teach what you know. So remember the bucket. So we want to help the world, but we cannot pour from an empty bucket. Yeah, I said those who hoard gold have riches for a moment. Those who hoard knowledge and skills have riches for a lifetime. And true prosperity is what you know and what you can do. So it means that if you understand selling, you can go to any country, you can take a plane ticket, a one-way plane ticket. One of my goals in life is one day take a one-way plane ticket to any side of the world and find something to sell there, sell it, pay my hotel bill, and spend some time there and fly myself back through the money I generate there. So now, because true prosperity is what you know and what you can do. Okay, I want us to ask questions about these sections, and so I want to give us time to ask questions. And let's remember, applied knowledge is skill, and the value this, when value is what is useful to the user, and skill, your skill is value. Yeah, your skill is value. So, and make sure you fill your buckets in the right order. Fill your buckets in the right order. Fill your buckets in the right order. Don't forget it. Fill your buckets in the right order. Don't jump. Don't jump process. I have met people that they didn't follow the process. And you know what happened? They got a bigger paying job. But 2 years down the line, the storms of life will hit. And when it hits, and if the roots are not strong, the wind carry them. Okay? Get your roots strong and fill your buckets in the right order. Fill them in the right order. Remember, what you learn, nobody can take it away from you. So not even circumstance of life can take it away from you. So even if there's war in Nigeria, you pick your bag and you go to another place and you create a magic out of your life because you have true prosperity. And those that stacked Naira and could not convert to dollars will be hooked. But you have it in. So when you go there, your knowledge, you apply the skills, right? It will bring a network of users and partners, every good people you need, surrounding clients, people that need your services, up and down, the ecosystem you need, they form your network, right? And then they pay. Resources will flow. And what else will come? And your news will be spread abroad. Reputation will come. Okay, so everyone, that's that for today's class. I want to know how we're going to apply this going henceforth. So whenever you have an opportunity, always look at it. Is it following that bucket or are you consecuting the bucket? That is why some businesses fail when a young man comes back from he doesn't have the skills and he just comes back and they put him in top management position. He doesn't understand how the business work. He has been abroad all his life and he's coming to run a powerful conglomerate without the knowledge and the skills, without understanding the process. And he just starts from network without knowledge and skill of the business. The business is bound to fail. It's bound to fail. It's bound to fail. That is why more than 50% of current world billionaires in dollars are first generation because they have the knowledge, they have the skill. Don't jump process. It doesn't help. In the meantime, it looks beautiful. In the long run, the storms of life will come. It will blow you off. But with knowledge, you are solid because with skill, you will recreate it and recreate it. Even in the desert, you will recreate it. So fill your buckets in the right order so we can help a lot of people. And that also brings us to the closing of what we want to say. These buckets we're talking about, if you keep the size of a bucket like this cup and you fill it and you feel it's full, good. But remember, the only thing you can pour is the size of this cup. So if you keep expanding, your knowledge can keep expanding. Your skill can keep expanding. If you could close, if your conversion ratio, some of us on this call don't know what's conversion ratio, which is wrong. If you're a salesperson, if your conversion ratio is 6/10, has it got into 7/10? Has it got into 8/10? If you could develop 2 houses in 6 months, can you now do 10? That's it. So you expand it and the bucket increases so that you can pour more, so that now you can now have a bigger ship. Your bucket is now like ship that you can use to cross people from, as you want to help people, right? So if you have a small ship, you can help small people. You have a big ship, you can help bigger people. Does that make sense? I mean, you can help bigger people at once and a larger number of persons per time. So that's that. And I want to leave us to ask our questions. If you have questions pertaining the class, or any other thing, throw the question, please. I would like to address it, and you can also tell us how you intend to apply what you have learned today. So ask your question, but tell us how you intend to apply what you've learned today. Application is the skill. So thank you, everyone. Who is going first? Who is going first? Who is going first? Oh, that's first time seeing you on the call. You're welcome, Jessica Onyebula. You're welcome, Jonathan. You're welcome. So you can unmute yourself. Lovely.
Good evening,
Hello.
sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
this is not my
evening.
first time. It's not my first time.
Oh.
I've been engaging in your section. Yeah, thank you for
Okay.
thank you for all the values. Thank you for all the values we get from you. God bless you, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
I joined a little bit late, but I think I got something from what you said. I just wanted to what you taught us this evening, or what I got, confirmed
Okay.
my discussion with some persons. I was discussing with a group of persons, and I told them that if all the money in this world are taken from everybody and shared to us equally, the Dangotes will still be the Dangotes. So what you just taught us this evening just confirmed that. Thank you, sir. God bless you, sir.
You're welcome. So what are you doing? What are you doing now to apply what we have learned?
Okay, I joined a little bit late. I think I got when you said about some buckets. And so I didn't get from the first bucket to the fifth bucket.
Okay, the first bucket is knowledge. Knowledge will translate to scale. Scales is applied knowledge. Scale is applied knowledge.
Okay, sir.
Okay? Yeah, and knowledge is not only got it from books, right? As we are here, we are sharing knowledge. So when somebody is sharing knowledge, the person is sharing money. Because now skill, first bucket is skill, is knowledge. Second is skill. Third one is network. The fourth one is resources. And the fifth one is reputation. You can see it on the chat group. Okay. So that's that. So who else picked something and you would like to tell us how you're going to implement, please? 9 o'clock is almost upon us.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Steve. How you doing?
Awesome, I'm grateful. Okay, so quickly, what I'm going to implement from the class is the first one on the bucket list, which is knowledge. Knowledge is infinite, so keep improving on the knowledge that will feed the skill and the other parts of the bucket list. So knowledge first, add whatever knowledge we have now. Okay, I'll keep increasing on my knowledge.
Okay. Okay, that's good. That's beautiful. Who else picked something from the class? I thought we wanted to help a lot of people. So we have not found out how to help people. Joseph, Dr. Joe. Dr. Joe.
Good evening, sir.
Okay, good evening.
Thank you for today's class. What I learned on today's class is thank you very much for the value. Of course, I grabbed a lot today. I was the one asking you and bombarding you with a lot of questions to get what you were saying correctly.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you, sir. The value I got today was when you asked the question of
would you choose between becoming a multi-millionaire in dollar or helping a million of people? Now, I had to pause for a minute before answering that question, but some people answering and you making some correction made me to ask the question. That means you should sort for becoming a multi-billionaire in dollar before helping a million of people. And that bounces back to when you said that you don't pour from an empty bucket. So the value I got today is I cannot pour from an empty bucket. So I got to fill my bucket in a right way from the due process, get strong or in roots before thinking of helping a million of people. So my value today is filling my bucket in the due process before thinking about helping a million of people out there. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And it's 9 o'clock.
Okay,
I
sir.
think we'll call it a day. Okay, who is that?
This is Joe.
Okay, Dr. Joe. Dr. Joe. Okay, good.
I'm very happy for the today's sessions. What I picked from there is an aspect of the knowledge, because there is need for us to search for knowledge. Because when you continue to search for knowledge, the number of knowledge that we acquire determines the level of impact we are to make. And as we make the impact, that determines the number of the wealth we are to create. And when we create the wealth, we can be able to help those people that we hope and we plan to. So what I pick in the aspect of that knowledge, I need to still continue to learn, to improve, in order for me to have what it takes to help. That's what I pick from there.
So that your bucket can be full. And when your bucket
Yes,
is full, the network will come.
Yes, sir.
Yes, the network will come. If we want 3 estates in Abuja, we'll get it because we have the network. Because there are people that can verify your knowledge. Remember, nobody wants to help the weak. Nobody wants to associate with the weak. People want to associate with the strong. Joe, will you want someone that is not strong to be your friend?
No.
Okay, I think in a proper way. Will you choose a sergeant or a general to be your friend? A sergeant in the army or a general in the army? Who will you choose?
The general is there. So what am I doing with the sergeant?
And that is the truth about life. You get it. So you have to walk inside to be strong. And that is the same way that when your knowledge outshines the knowledge of the others, which is shown in your skill, because nobody knows your knowledge. They only see your skill. Then people will choose you because you are the general now.
Yeah.
Is that clear? So good evening, everyone, and let's have a beautiful evening. And let's enjoy ourselves till next week. Thank you, everyone, and God bless us.
All right. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, sir.